This should be another straightforward watchtower, but I do lose my combo when I try to take out the brute, and the next phase of combat isn't very efficient. After this, it's the next Riddler challenge, which just involves using the Batmobile to line up some tiles.
He spends all night lecturing us on those billboards and doesn't give us a heads up.
Part 2.
Agamemno Contingency, file codename Red Sands. Jean-Jeans, the manhunter from Mars, is the heart and soul of the Justice League. However, his strength and speed make him a formidable opponent should he ever turn against us. His vulnerability to fire would be hard to exploit in a defensive position. However, research suggests that a nanite virus spiked with magnesium would cause his skin to combust in contact with the air, neutralizing him as a threat. Must investigate further.
Welcome, detective, to the drain I'm going to figuratively and quite possibly literally flush you down. The goal of this aquatic examination could not be simpler, detective. Lower the water like so. Before that, however, it's time for a riddle. Riddle me this, detective. What do bats do when they're at home? That's one Batman. The water might be lower, but you're still out of your depth. You know, detective, if I'd rigged that grapple point to detach, you could be dead in a moment. But where would the satisfaction be in that? You will be your own downfall, detective. I have no doubt. Another switch? When the water is almost as low as Catwoman's chances of freedom. Why don't you celebrate with my friends? Struggling, detective? I'm afraid you're running several minutes behind my projections. This is why my projections were off. I failed to consider both your incompetence and your stupidity as two distinct variables. Apologies, detective. I will recalculate post-haste. Excellent, excellent. You are barely keeping up to the precise degree my equations predict. Careful on your way out.
Hey, Eddie. Can't we play a different game? Here's hoping Eddie hasn't started cheating. And they say black cats are bad luck.
Another key, well done. Of course, you'll lose all 9 lives in an instant should I push this detonator.
Another door unlocked. What a surprise.
Part 3.
Agamemno Contingency, file code name 2814. The ring of a Green Lantern is the most powerful weapon in the universe, limited only by the imagination of the bearer. The ring cannot be separated from the wielder except in the event of their death, and the ring's natural defenses prevent direct attack. But in order to use the ring, the core member needs to be able to see what they are doing. While an attack on the eyes would be ill-advised due to the defenses of the ring, see Table 38B for full offensive lists and their attendant probabilities of success. Research indicates that a post-hypnotic suggestion could be planted into the Green Lantern's psyche, causing them to believe themselves blind. The ring would then make them blind, enforced by their own willpower. Must test out this theory on Guy Gardner.
Usually after this challenge I head back to the orphanage, but I think to myself that I want to get on with the main mission, and since I'm on the southern part of the eastern side of Founders, I grind my way up the east side with a mishmash of different side missions leading up to Professor Pig. As a complete list, from here to Pig, it's a riddle, a trophy, murder victim 5, a trophy, a mine, a trophy, a checkpoint, a trophy, a riddle, murder victim 6, and finally the good professor.
This ain't the time to lose focus. We regroup and hit them hard.
Okay, I can't go by without saying how bad this robot fight is. I get hit, I lose combos, I even somehow miss in the middle of a cape stun beatdown. Truly amazing.
This is absurd. An outrage. How would you like it if I started ordering Robin around? Batman.
So after the riddle and the robot fight, it's time for victim 5, if I can manage to drop down. At skin, muscle and bone, it's the right thigh, right kidney, and the right side of the skull.
Alfred, I found a fifth.
This wound is relatively fresh, inflicted while the victim was still alive. Abrasion to the epidermal layers confirms the somewhat crude removal of a tattoo. The position of this scar indicates the victim underwent surgery to remove one of their kidneys. A plate made of tantalum, used here for a cranial fracture, most probably the result of a boxing accident. The victim's calloused knuckles would only be acquired by a professional fighter. Alfred, the victim's name is... Do the details of the disappear...
On the way to this mine, I pop out to get a trophy.
Yeah, I've got some interrogation skills. Did some jobs across the Rockwell with a guy named Pereira. He knew how to make people talk.
Unfortunately, I have no weapon energy, but regardless, it's imperative to take out the 2 Mambas that spawn above. Things can get a little hairy with this mine, but if you keep a cool head and work methodically, you won't get overwhelmed and they'll go down easily.
Enemy spotted! Perdition Bridge! Dragon down! Rattler down! Alpha targets hit a drone! Drone flank initiated! Direct hit on a Rattler! Dragon's been taken out! Dragon offline! Batman's taken out a drone! Rattler's been hit! Mamba's been hit! Riker Heights
The bomb's payload is exposed. I can use the power winch to trigger a controlled explosion.
You've safely destroyed the bomb, sir, despite the militia's determined efforts.
After that trophy, we'll take this checkpoint and go into an alley which has a trophy and a riddle, before heading to the 6th and final murder victim.
You know, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm getting kind of tired of all this rioting. Man, back and crush us in that contact thing.
For this final victim, the areas to scan are the left thigh, the left side of the neck, and the left hand. After scanning this victim, I check to see where the next penguin truck is, since it would be a good way to eventually return here, very close to Arkham Knight's headquarters south, which is the next part of the main mission after talking to the GCPD communications department.
To remove a cancerous growth has resulted in the victim being fitted with a voice box. The victim suffered a rare genetic disorder, causing them to have 6 fingers on one hand. Alfred, the victim's name. Cross-reference this with the...
Bruce, I've got a present for you. I've located one of Penguin's trucks at the rear of the movie studios.
A truck to follow. A weapons cache for us to destroy. Thanks, Nightwing.
When entering the pig's lair, remember the trophy in the side room and the riddle to scan in the main chamber. There are 3 phases to this combat. The first introduces us to the Dollatron, a slow but durable enemy that can only be taken out with a takedown. After the first phase, we have some time to scan the riddle before facing 6 opponents in the second phase, and the third phase has even more opponents which need to be defeated while dodging or countering Pig's blades. When all of the Dollatrons are down and out, you can finally take out the Pig.
Chop, chop, chop! Hurt him all the better! Ooh. On your feet, my precious! Stands pretty as a pig. Oh, thank God it's over. It's finally over. Why are you taking me? Pig, go back to his circus.
I'm taking you where you won't be able to hurt anyone else. I'll make sure of it.
Pig doesn't hurt. Pig heals. Pig fixes. My Dollatrons are works of art.
Those people are living a fate worse than death.
Not death. Pig makes life worth living.
And the ones you murdered?
Too broken for Pig to make better. Too imperfect. They make Mother angry. Make Pig feel sick.
Those things you couldn't...
Gotham ain't going down yet.
Pig, not good enough. Oh, never good enough. So close until you stopped me. I can do better.
And there we have it, our first most wanted criminal locked away, and we're perfectly placed to talk to GCPD comms.
Now, old Pig.
Tell me about this, bro.